Music is the answer. Sweet music is the way. Gospel, jazz, R&B touches you every day. Talk about how it moves you differently day to day. It's the R&B Bistro, where the music has its way.
Hello and welcome to the R&B Bistro Up Close and Personal. I'm your host, Venus, and I'm here to take you through this musical dance we call life. And to do that, you know I bring on fantastic people in the industry to help us make it through. Today's guest, you know, I always have to take out my glasses when I have to read a long list of credits. So let me do this. He is an Emmy Award-winning audio director with over 40 years in the voiceover and music business. He's worked on staff and as a freelancer for major radio stations, TV stations in New York, producing automation dialogue, we'll have to ask him what that is, directing audiobooks, radio productions, TV soundtrack productions, documentaries, award-winning films. He's the owner and CEO of Antland Productions, who provides voiceover support services and home studio solutions, which I need, and a whole lot more. If I keep talking, we'll never get to the interview. Let us get up close and personal with Uncle Roy Yokelson. Welcome to the R&B Bistro.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Oh my goodness. I hope I can get to this because I'm so excited to just have you
I'm
here.
excited.
You're excited?
Yeah.
You don't look excited.
Well, we met last year, and it took you a whole year to get us back together.
Listen. I'm just glad that you wanted to be here. It's
Yeah.
such a privilege to have you. Such a privilege. All right. Let's get up close and personal. Personal. Uncle Roy.
What?
Where'd that come from? This uncle thing. You look like an uncle.
Well, we could keep it safe and say when my sisters had kids, then.
That's probably not it.
But I was Uncle Roy many years before that.
Uh-huh.
As part of my company named Antland Productions, a character named Uncle Auntie came out of that, and then that was actually when I was in college radio. It was the Uncle Auntie extravaganza, and then that part mostly went away. A couple of people still call me that, but that's a little silly. And then
I like it.
And then everybody, I mean, if my bosses are calling me Uncle Roy.
No, we wouldn't want them to call you Uncle Roy.
No, yeah, they were calling me
do?
Uncle Roy, so I thought, well, that's going to stick. Now when I call my parents and the caller ID goes on, they say, oh, Uncle Roy's on the phone.
Stop, for real, your parents?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, so now how did you get into audio engineering? I know your career is extensive.
When I was 2,
Stop.
I had a record player, and I used to play Perry Como's Papa Loves Mambo over and over and over and over and over like kids do. And it drove my father crazy. And his friend said, well, put in a headphone jack, and that'll shut off the speaker. So at 2, I had headphones. But kids today, at 2, they have headphones. They have everything.
Right.
And then my father gave me a tape recorder when I was 5. And I was the kid on the block with the puppet stage in the basement. And we didn't know it was the right thing to do, but we pre-recorded the dialogue and the scene change music and stuff. And my sister made the scenery. We were the local entertainment for
local puppeteers.
Yeah, in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Wow, oh, you're from Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Okay, how'd you get to Jersey?
Proud of it. Brooklyn, Long Island, Flushing, Jamaica Estates, Jersey. Bloomfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about something else about Bloomfield later because I'm trying to get him to North Brunswick so he'll be closer to me.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Anyway, so now I know you did all those different things. Let's stop for a minute and talk about the animation dialogue. What is that?
When MGM animation was still a thing, I was the guy in New York to get to, well, mostly engineer, but a little bit of co-directing. So a lot of celebrities, Dom DeLuise, Christopher Plummer, B.B. Newworth, whoever was in New York, I was the guy to get.
You were the go-to guy.
Joan Rivers. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Joan Rivers, how was she? I always wanted to meet her.
Joan Rivers was the most professional, friendly, almost overly accommodating person.
Really?
Like almost the complete opposite of her persona. And my opening line to her, which I stole from my father, is, "What part of Brooklyn did you grow up in?" And that started, a little friendship there.
Right.
She was absolutely great.
Did she ever do the "Can we talk" to you?
No.
No, really?
No. I mean, a funny thing happened during the studio. they were doing a photo shoot, and we had these panels, these acoustic panels, but the people doing the photo shoot, they flattened them out so they could have more room in the booth to shoot her. And then I was about to start the session, and I hear cursing because the panels fell on her, and hot coffee went everywhere. And got it cleaned up, and she actually later.
And she still did the show?
She was great.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go to my website and go to the fun page and listen
we'll find
to
it.
the
I think
the
I went
outtake.
there. I think I
Well,
went
the
there.
outtake that's there starts with Joan Rivers telling about the coffee. So.
Now, I don't know if you know, but this is the anniversary shows that we're shooting, so I'm pleased to have you here for the anniversary shows. And I started in voiceover, and that's how I got to radio. Yeah. So I thought people were always asking me, how do you get into voiceover and all these different things, and I keep telling them there's a whole lot more to just speaking, and there's a whole lot more to having a good voice.
It's not just reading?
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I try to bring back some shows that will go back to that to help people out there who want to do that. So let's talk about that for a minute. You did the voiceover community plus TV plus radio plus film. So which do you like better?
You know, I wear so many different hats. And even in the early part of my career, you had advertising going on, you had a record album going, because audio, record album, you had a film score, you had a documentary. So even if it was slow in advertising, something else would come up. So I love music recording, especially music of the 20s.
Man, that's my own heart.
Music of the 20s and 30s.
Yes.
My favorite.
Yes.
So
and all the singings from back then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So when I worked on Woody Allen's Radio Days, and we recreated Sinatra and Carmen Miranda.
The whole Rat Pack I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, music recording, but I love voiceovers because it's really about people. Old school, you know, the voiceover would come to the studio, and there'd be Uncle Roy's coffee and bagels and Danish and fruit and everything, and it was about people getting together. And now everything is
at
Skype,
your home studio, Skype,
home studio, you know, email. And so it's taken a lot of the personal thing out of it.
Right.
You know, that's why I like to go to your house and set up your home studio, because we get to hang out and do stuff.
Or all of the seminars and webinars and training classes where everybody from all across the country in voiceover everywhere come, and we get together and we train and we meet Uncle Roy like I did last year. VO Atlanta.
VO Atlanta is the one to go to, yes.
Yeah,
I have to give him a plug.
So now, okay, that's true, we do. Shout out to
Gerald Griffith.
Gerald Griffith, exactly. So now, tell us, come up to date now, because you know we got millennials paying attention to this. We got millennials paying attention to this as well.
Yeah.
So see if you can tell us some of the movie or TV shows that you did work on that we would know.
Well, I don't know if the millennials are going to know.
I mean, if they study stuff.
Yeah. Well, I did all the millennials won't know, but my minor claim to fame is having recorded the film scores of all the Woody Allen films from 1982 to 2005. But animation-wise, All Dogs Go to Heaven.
All Dogs Go to Heaven, yes.
#2, and the TV show, and they did a Christmas Carol special also, and that was pretty fun.
Now, one that stuck out to me, I believe you did something on, is because I used to read a lot of books when I was younger.
Yeah.
Babes in Toyland.
Well, yeah, that was Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my Christopher Plummer story. We'll see if we get into that or not.
All right.
Director told his son that I almost killed Christopher Plummer on the day of the recording.
Because he did something that was bad?
Well, he had to show that he was the boss, or he was Christopher Plummer. So it was a small booth, not terrible.
Right.
2 or 3 times the size of my whisper room. And
now stop, because you mentioned it. We have to tell them, what's a whisper room?
A whisper room is when you have a home studio, you can buy a prefab voice booth where you can go inside, and it's mostly soundproof, and you make it inside the booth, you make it sound good with sound treatment. You don't need that, but if you've got the means, if you've got the funds for that, a whisper room or Studio Bricks, or there are different brands of voiceover booths.
If you don't have that, use your closet. You can. There are several people who use their closet.
So Christopher Plummer was in this, what he considered a small booth, and he said, and this will give you the time frame, he said, well, even OJ deserves a larger cell than this.
Oh my goodness, terrible.
So, so I called the office. I said, we're going into Studio B, and it was the size of this room. And he said, well, this is the same thing. He wanted like the.
Wow,
he was looking for the
really
shoot
a diva.
Well, he was looking for like the film shoot stage.
Uh-huh.
So we got into the big room.
Really?
And at one point, he was supposed to yell. He was Barnaby in Babes in Toyland, the mean guy. And so he was going to yell, and he turned to the back of the room and he yelled. So I said, well, now I know that, now that I'm ready for you, you can just yell. You can yell right into the microphone because otherwise it sounds off mic. Oh, was the mic off? No, no, it sounds like you're yelling to the back of the room. Well, my dear boy, when we did live radio, you could yell wherever you like. Well, this isn't live radio. I didn't.
Let's talk
that
about
was day one, and day two, everything was
everything
fine.
was better day two.
He had already said.
He had to test you and see how you would take whatever
I'm Christopher
he would throw
Plummer.
at you. Yes. So how do you? What's your tip? We'll get into that right now. What's your tip for dealing with
prima donnas?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, you know, and of course, because I've had so many years in the business and I've seen it.
Over.
The young women are
But
listening.
he's only 23.
Yeah.
Like, ish. Go ahead.
Well, my job is to make whoever it is as comfortable as possible so that they can give the best delivery, whether it's a musician and you go out and you adjust their microphone, even if it's really okay, the musician will think that you really cared about them getting the right sound and they'll play better.
Right.
And then they'll hear back, they go, wow, you made me sound great. And it's like, no, you sound, you know. So
there really is a thing of making something sound really good through to audio and editing, right?
Well, no, by making the talent feel very at ease so they can give the best performance, whether it's a voiceover or a musician or anybody. And it's not a fake, you know, it's genuine. I genuinely want them to.
Absolutely,
you
absolutely.
know, and that's a little bit of what makes me the Uncle Roy or whatever.
The go-to man.
I'm all about I really care. I think you know I care about you.
Yes,
I care about you.
Yes,
and I care about you.
That's true. That's why he's here, because he cares about all of us, and this show is about giving you what you need so you can make your dreams come true doing what you're doing.
And there's a lot of teachers out there who teach technology and things, and they're good at technology, but they're not necessarily good at being a teacher and being patient and really connecting with the people.
That's so true. And so important, because if you're teaching someone and they don't feel like you really care about them or that you're genuine, they're not going to grasp it. They're going to be thinking, oh my God, this person really doesn't care about me. He's just going through the motion, or she's just going through the motions.
And I will know soon enough how much you can handle.
Right.
I don't want to overload you.
Right.
We'll take it really slow, and if I feel, oh, she's got this part, let's move on. Let's go into more detail, and I'll usually say, I'm giving you more detail now because I sense that you can handle it.
Right. So did I ask you what animation dialogue recording was? Did I ask you that?
Well, that's what we just talked about when Dom DeLuise came in and did Itchy on All Dogs Go to Heaven, and Bebe Neuwirth came in and did Annabella and Belladonna, and...
Now this kind of piggybacks on you making sure the person you're working with is feeling good. So you're known for these killer demos. He's known for killer demos.
Trademark now.
Have you ever worked with anyone that you felt just did voiceover wise, that you felt just didn't have it, the talent wasn't there? And then I have a follow-up to that. Well, let me tell you. Have you ever worked with someone like that, and then can you get a killer, you don't have to mention any names, we don't want to be sued, can you get a killer demo out of them?
Out of who?
Out of the person you felt
you mean, could
didn't
I get
have the talent to do it.
I can.
And they came to you to produce a demo.
I can produce a killer demo, but if you can't deliver what's on your demo, the killer demo only will show that I'm a great demo producer and not that you're a great talent. And I don't want my craft to overshadow your talent. Yes, occasionally. Well, the process is usually that I interview you so that I write scripts that are about your life and about products that you use and things you believe in. So it's very personal. And then I usually coach with those scripts to make sure that you're ready. And once I didn't do that, because the person told me, "Oh, I'm ready. I take direction great. I've been coaching forever." And then he got to my house.
Oh my goodness.
And I, after an hour of trying to get through the first 15 seconds of recording, I said, you can't do this. What's going to happen if I finish your demo and you send it out and you get hired? You can't do this.
You can't produce it. Now that's good, because you could have been the type of person that just let him go on and do it, take the money, and then send him out. And I'm so glad that you're not that kind of person. Again, another reason
he doesn't
why,
know it yet, but he's getting his money back.
Hey, another reason why I do this show is because in this industry, there's so many people who really don't care about you, and they're not going to give you any information. And so I wanted to be able to give people information where there was none, or where people won't share with you. Everybody has helped somebody. And so this is a community-based show to help people. So when would you say that person was ready? And then you talked about a script, and I had questions about that, so I'm going to double back to that. So when do you feel that they're ready? And why do you feel it's important for you to write the script for them versus them bringing the script? Now, when I did my first demo, we had a class, and then we looked through commercial things in magazines, and they said, pick out things that you think were you. And then we wrote commercials from that, or wrote copy from that.
Right, so that's similar, because you pick products that you use, or I mean, because you can't cookie cutter formulate, oh, we need a sexy spot, we need a compassionate, we need girl next door, we need mom. I mean, yes, you probably, if that's in your wheelhouse, if that's in your range, then you do need that. But I would rather write the scripts. They're
based on that
they're
person.
Clever, and I try to put I try to make a cameo in there somewhere. I'll throw in one word or a grunt or something and be part of the demo. What was the rest of your question? That was a long question.
How do you know when they're ready? Yeah.
The talent and you and the coach should both know. Okay, you're ready. You're ready. You'll know it. And this particular person wasn't ready, and we both knew it after having worked with him for and I wish I had coached him more. And if he's up for it, that's what I'll do. I'll take his money and apply it towards coaching. There were other issues. You need to be an actor. This is voice acting.
Exactly, and people forget that it's not about you have a good voice.
Yeah, it's not about That's the smallest part of the equation, is that you have a good voice. And the second part is the acting. Do you have acting? And if you can do improv,
exactly.
That really, because conversational is the
right. And I'm sure people walk up to you. They walk up to me all the time, and they go, "Oh, they tell me I have a great voice. I want to get into voiceover. How do you do that?"
It's the kiss of death.
And I go, "It's not about your voice. Have you ever heard a lady or a man who has a real squeaky high voice, and they like the cartoons, but they're not putting on that's really their voice,
right?
And they're doing voiceover. It doesn't matter. It's about taking direction.
It may dictate what your genre is and what your range is. So that if you got a big deep voice, you might think about gaming, or I mean, animation. There's a whole other thing, and most people have to move to California, and the competition is tremendous. Are you as good as, if not better than, the people out there? But
the thing is, now it was easier years ago. It's so much talent now.
It's pretty saturated.
Yeah,
because everybody, and the other thing is the reason you get into voiceover. If this has been a passion of yours for years, or you've always been play acting, those are good reasons. But I get people, well, I'm in retirement now, and I thought I could make a second income, or I could use it for a hobby. I don't like the hobby. Well, it's okay. There's room for everybody. But I've got this one guy that produces car videos about vintage cars, but he doesn't charge enough. Oh, I don't need the money. This is just a hobby. I'm having fun. Let me be your agent. We'll get the money. You'll still get the money you need, and I'll take the agent's fee.
Okay. So, do you feel that someone should come to you as a coach and audio, or just go to someone else for coaching? And I know you're not gonna throw money away, but do you feel that you're equally on both?
It depends on the genre. I'm very good at
coaching for particular genres.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily coach. My strength is not coaching in animation and gaming. I would send them to other places for that, but I can produce their demo.
When you do that, do you make an arrangement with the person you send them to for like a finder's fee or something like that, or a shared
It
fee?
depends on who it is.
Who
it
it
could
is,
be
yeah.
GVAA, Global Voice Acting Academy,
Right.
or J.
And
Michael Collins, or
yeah, because
whoever.
a lot of folks work together. Yeah. So now you also train people in audio production. Is that like, is there a beginning, an intermediate, or advanced, or is it you get all in one?
Oh, it's
day?
all of that. It's all that. So there's people like you that are sort of beginner-ish,
Right.
on the way to intermediate. So we can start slow, and there's free software. There's Audacity. There's Adobe Audition 3, and I can set you up and show you. You at least have to be able to record and do, at least your course editing. Get it roughly in there, and the home studio has to sound like broadcast quality. Otherwise, when people are listening to an audition, they're listening for two things. Obviously, your delivery.
And the
second thing is,
sound.
what does the room you're recording in sound like? Because if it sounds echoey, they're not going to hire you.
Not even gonna listen to
because mostly long gone are the days of you get called into a studio to actually do the recording.
Yeah, Joan Baker told me about that, how she got started.
Yay,
she was
Joan,
actually on the elevator.
Joan Baker.
Joan Baker,
Yeah.
yes. I did an interview of her. It's on YouTube. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
cool.
whole funny story. This was back at R&B Bistro had a radio show. It was a radio show first before it became a TV. And we had her come out to the studio further down in Jersey, South Jersey.
Yeah.
And we had to do a
We'll give
two-part.
them-
But we filmed it. It was on the air during the radio show, but we filmed it. So I was able
We'll
to
give
put
a
it on
little
there.
more plug for Joan. That's Voiceovers November 4th.
And I was coming up saying, you're going to be there.
I'm the host of.
Yes.
Suddenly, I'm the host of the speed dating with your demo, which different casting people and producers will critique your demo.
Right.
And then time's up. Next.
Okay, so if
Somehow
I
I became the host of that. I just wanted.
If I come to that, you have to do my demo so I can get
Yeah, no kidding. And then on November 5th is the Voice Arts Award at Lincoln Center. I'll be in a tux. It's my birthday.
You're gonna be in a tux?
I hope I win a
Wait,
prize.
your birthday's when?
November 5th.
November 5th. I'm November
Early-
1st. We're Scorpios.
Look, Scorpio.
We're Scorpio. I'm not
There
putting
you
that
go.
on me, but
Nah.
we're Scorpios.
No.
All right. So when you're training people, are you basically training them for them to just work as an audio engineer, or for them to just be able to fix their demos, their auditions? Let's say, not their demos.
Yeah, their auditions. All voiceover people need to have a minimum amount of audio engineering training.
Especially now.
Back in the day,
You didn't.
You had, you walked in and you just had to perform.
Right.
And there was an engineer, there was a producer, a director, the music producer was there, and his girlfriend was there, and it was all about a lot of people.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, you'd be lucky if it's a phone patch and somebody's directing you on the phone or a Skype or whatever.
Do you ever tell people or teach people how to direct themselves? I don't like directing myself.
It takes time. Well, one way to start doing that is you record yourself and you listen back, and most people can tell, oh, why am I going too fast? Why aren't I smiling? I'm slurring. I'm overly articulate. So if you can hear the issues,
that's not mine so much as, did I capture the right feeling that they want? Not the tone.
Connecting
not
to the script.
Yeah, it's whether I'm giving you the right person that you want. So.
There's the who am I and who am I speaking to and all that. So depending on what the product is, and I like to start with a pre-read, whether it's, hey mom, or hey dad, you know what I saw the other day, and then you go into the read because it's conversational, or sometimes just, hey Uncle Roy, whatever, if you're supposedly talking to a friend.
Kind of like lead-ins.
Like a lead-in, and sometimes the lead-in could just be read the tagline and then go back to the top, and now you're warmed up and you're hit the ground running.
There's so much we could talk about in this subject. We never have enough time.
Oh, we'll have part 2.
Yes, that's wonderful. I love that. You'll come back?
Yeah.
I mean, I got 2 more questions, but you'll come back?
I'll keep going.
Thank you. Listen, so have you ever worked with someone, because I know you do a little voiceover sometimes too, right?
I'm the occasional guy who has IBS or something, irritable bowel syndrome, Well, Doc, it's been like this for a month now.
So you've done someone's demo. Have you ever worked with a particular person, on a voiceover job that you've done their demo to?
Have I worked
with anyone of your people, somebody you did a demo for? You did their killer demo.
Yeah.
They're a talent.
Oh.
And have you ever worked with them as talent?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. I mean, I do some casting. I get clients.
You do casting too? I didn't.
Well,
this is an informative interview.
You got to wear a lot of hats, I'm telling you.
Yes.
And I do children's theater.
Mm-hmm.
We're going, after here, I have to go up to Pearl River and do Bring It On.
So at Antland Productions, do you have a team or you're doing everything?
It's pretty much me. Sometimes I hire ghostwriters, but my friend Lamar came. He was coming for his demo. The scripts aren't ready. 5 in the morning, I sat down and I wrote his scripts, and he loved them, and it's just me.
Do you ever have any interns come in and help you?
I've had offers, but...
I'll be an intern.
Yeah? You're going to drive up to Bloomfield?
Yeah.
Come on
I
up.
want to do some sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not kidding, and I'm on camera, so I guess I can't tell a tale, right?
That's right.
All right, so you already mentioned 1 or 2 of the workshops coming up. Do you have any of your own workshops that are coming up?
Not my own, but there's a VO Intensity, August 24th through 27th, another Atlanta event that Gerald is running.
Why does everybody go in all these other states? Can we have something in New York and New Jersey?
Well, that's voiceovers in New
Yeah,
York.
but look how long it took for that. I want one.
Every other year she alternates.
Okay,
so.
I want one like Gerald does in Atlanta, in New York. A 4-day thing.
Well, you've just told him.
Yes. Oh, Gerald? You want Gerald to do it? Joan could do it. I don't care who
Joan
does
could
it.
do it. Joan
But
does
there was something, and that's how I met a lot of people. There was something that went over the course of 4 days, but it wasn't as intense as VO Atlanta. So we need something like that in New York for those who don't have the money to travel.
Right. Well, VO Atlanta, that was their 5th year, so he built it up. There were 600 people there.
Yeah.
So he really
He
covered
what?
every
9 countries, and I don't know how many states.
Probably more than that. Yeah, like 40 states or something like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the next
Don't
one's
make me
coming
get
up
the
in March,
stats.
but I'm not sure I'm going to make that one. So now give me 2 tips, 2 to 3 tips that you feel would be good for someone who wants to be a sound engineer, so they can run out tomorrow because they heard you and get started.
You put me on the spot.
It's easy. You can do it.
You want to be a sound engineer. Why? Why?
Because there's money in it.
Well, there's no money in anything anymore.
Well, you know, we need another show for that one.
No, you need, if you're really passionate about sound, and then there are different aspects. Radio's not 100% dead, but, there's schools like the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, and there are places that teach radio production. I'm not exactly skirting the issue, but the question, but there's film sound. There's all the reality shows need, where you put a wireless lav mic on people, and Project Runway, and they've got 24 microphones going.
But you got to go to school to do that.
There's
first,
live
right?
theater. Well, I didn't go to school for anything.
You learned on the job.
This was This was my childhood passion. Just sound, just making sound sound
take
better.
your passion.
Take your passion.
And get some training. That's 1. Give me 2.
Don't be discouraged.
Don't be discouraged is 2.
Well, no, I'm just saying, go with the follow-up of going with your passion
All right,
is
so
don't
give
be
me 2.
discouraged. Number 2.
I'm going to let you get away with only 2 because we're running out of time.
The clock is ticking. Find out everything, every kind of aspect, every kind of job that would involve sound. There are all kinds of in-house production companies. The ad agencies have in-house audio departments. The pharma companies have their own in-house production companies.
So now how can they find you? What's your website?
www.antlandproductions, A-N-T-L-A-N-D, antlandproductions.com.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
I'm Venus. This has been the R&B Bistro Up Close and Personal. Make sure you come on back. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Remember, it's never too late to live your dreams. And when you do, I'll be there encouraging you. Thank you. Come on back and check out the Bistro. Tell somebody. We love you for watching.
R&B touches you every day. Talk about how it moves you differently day to day. It's the R&B Bistro. Letting music have its way. Music is the answer. Sweet music is the way. Gospel, jazz, R&B touches you every day. Talk about how it moves you differently day to day. It's the R&B Bistro. Letting music have its way.